We are back for another video. I am back here with Nick over there. He's squeezing his face into my hot hood.
It's very hot. I'm just trying to figure out where we're starting here.
Alright, so we're back for another install today. I know I still owe you guys a lot of reviews. Maybe we're going to try to do them today. Nick, they've been asking for a 271 rear motor mount review, so okay. I think you might be the best person to say something about it just because you've been in the car like before and after. So okay. We'll see about doing that today. But that's not why we're here today. The main reason why we're here today is we are going to be installing a flex fuel kit. I have had this kit in my house for like almost like 2 weeks now, I want to say, and I've been putting up like, okay, I'm gonna do it the following week, and you know, just never had the time. So here we are today. I got mine for this is a flex fuel from SiriMoto, and I'm gonna tell you guys honestly, the only reason that I got this particular one is because I want to have the little gauge in the car. Now I know this works with the Hyundai sensor, however I like to be extremely careful, so I wanted the gauge, and that's the only reason why I got this. The kit is the same as getting a PRO flex fuel kit or like any other type of flex fuel kit that you're looking at, but you know, I just really wanted that. That's why I got this. So without further ado, let's get into what's in the box. Alright, so this is what we have in the box today. It's a pretty small and light box. So I actually ordered mine from procivic.com. That's where I ordered mine. It came in like super duper fast. Obviously these are your fuel lines. I think this is the connector for the gauge. It comes with an installation guide, which is nice because I had to figure out what the damn fuel line is. Oh, this tells you about using the gauge. It tells you how to read the gauge and stuff. That's what this whole book is about. So when you got some leisure time and you got nothing to do, catch up onto the manuals. Alright, so I think one of these should be like the gauge and the other should be like the fuel analyzer. Let's see, which one is this one? Yeah, I want to guess which one this is. Yikes, this is the gauge right here. Man, look at that. I love how this looks. It's freaking awesome.
Wow,
I like it.
looks really nice.
Yeah.
Quality. Okay.
Yep, so this is the gauge. I guess it comes with like a, I guess it's like a harness for you to plug the gauge onto, something like that.
I think that's a, what is that? That's like a pod? What is it? Oh, it does look like a pod. I think
Yeah.
that's, you mount it wherever you want to mount it. It looks like.
And that's what I'm thinking. So like, it's probably wherever you want to. I think you unscrew these and put this in there or something like that. We'll see.
We'll figure out where we can put that.
And then, of course, this is probably the most important thing, which is the fuel analyzer itself. This basically analyzes the ethanol content in your car, so you know what the hell you're putting in your car and the level that it is. So now this is actually different. Like, this is the analyzer itself, but for PRO, I think it's got like the fancy PRO boxed up thing and whatnot. But I mean, I can care less, you know. This is what the analyzer itself looks like. These are all the adapters for the analyzer. So that's really everything that's in the box. It didn't come with any stickers except for the innovative speakers. So oh, I'm definitely slapping this on for sure. I'm gonna get that.
Let everybody
right
know. What do you got? What you got on this?
Innovative Motorsports.
Yep.
I'm definitely slapping this one on. New sticker for me. So I mean, honestly, that's really it. I'm gonna try to put this back so we don't mess this up, so we know what's with what. But yeah, that's pretty much everything in the box. Right now, we're just waiting for the car to cool down. It is extremely hot here in San Antonio. It's like like 110 degrees or something like that.
Something
maybe?
like that. It's just excessive. Like you can kind of see how bright it is. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, actually, yeah, you can kind of. It's clear out here, and it's definitely hot. I mean, we were standing out in the sun. It's hot. It's a lot cooler in here. Yeah. So I'm gonna turn this fan back on. The reason I would turn it off is so that way you can hear us. You can hear both of us. So.
Oh, by the way, if you're not a subscriber, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. I've been forgetting to put links for Nick's channel on there, so yeah, I'll look out for Nick's channel. He's got some really good content. He's pretty good at editing, so his edits probably look way better than mine. So feel free to check it out. He's got that blue bad boy over there. If you hear the sound, trust me, you're gonna love it. But yeah, all right, we're gonna take a quick break, let things cool down, and we will be back to start the process. Okay, so our first project is to take out the battery. Obviously, we are going to take out the battery completely just so we can be able to pass the wire for the actual gauge inside the car, because it goes like behind the footwell down there, so it's just so much easier if you pass it through. But you can also do this like on the bottom tray, like if you go under, like if you just let the wire drop, use the bottom tray and then just kind of like tap it into like the driver's side. It's probably gonna come out like, I remember if it was the throttle or like the clutch, one of the holes has a way for it to come out. So that's the first thing we're doing, take out the battery completely, and then after that you gotta take out this cover, and then after that we are going to start the project from top to bottom. So we will be taking this portion out. This is a bracket, and that's where the fuel analyzer is gonna go, and then you're gonna have your short fuel system going right here, and then we're gonna trace the rest of the fuel line coming out somewhere here. Oh, we do also have to take out the intake box. So that's kind of like where we're at. We'll be back.
Enough access, I want to say.
Bro, I ain't got no Asian hands, man. My thumbs are too fat for this.
You got this, I believe in you. There it goes. Oh, shite. Dang.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's why you get a freaking shop rag on here.
Yeah.
I think a little bit spilled at the bottom, but it's all good.
It's fine. It's only a few. I do have a fire extinguisher too, so we're good. Nice.
Okay, so technically we just relieved like most of the pressure, but the bottom one is still gonna be crazy. So
yeah, so
especially because I just got done driving too. All right.
So we also got to get this one off right here. So this is your high pressure fuel pump here, and you have to remove this part just like how you did that one. There's a little clip.
Oh, sorry. Is this the shorter or the longer one? I think this is the shorter one.
Longer one is going to be the lower, so that one's the one that's coming over here.
Yeah.
And so, anyway.
So the shorter one stays up there?
Yeah. So this clip gets depressed or pushed together, and you pull this line back to remove it. You're going to do the same thing to this line here. You're going to remove this cover and move it out the way. You can't do it with one hand, but you're going to move this cover and get it out. Ow! And kind of get it out of the way. It's kind of hot still. There we go, like so. And after you do that, we're gonna put that on the side and push these tabs and pull the line back that way.
How do you mount this on? Alrighty, so we severed the fuel line. That's the shorter one right there. And this sensor, this is the fuel analyzer. The way this works, we could not figure this out at first, but it's so kind of dumb. But anyway, the way this works is you basically, it comes with a harness. You slide this in here, and then you zip tie this from one end to the other, just like that.
Oh, look. Yeah, flip around that door. Nope, the flat. Wait. Yeah, like that. So.
Alright, so we just zip tie this from one end to the other, just like that. And then before I get this tied, I'm just gonna make sure this actually sits in here, and then you can make sure this bottom one actually. So, Okay, so now it's sitting in there. It is as tight as it can be. You just chuck that off, and then this basically goes back on here like this, and you use the same screw that goes in here to kind of just secure this like that. So that's how that's gonna go in there. That's for that portion, and then this right here is for this goes into the gauge inside the car. So we're gonna wire this through the garment right there, and then but that's gonna be one of the last portions that we get done. Right now we're just gonna get the rest of the fuel line done. So all right, okay guys, so as soon as you're done, like I would highly recommend, you know, attaching the fuel analyzer to the bracket first. That gives you an idea of which portion is up and which one is down. It comes with like some red covers on here. You take those covers off, and the top portion is the shorter fuel line, just like as you guys can see it, it's the shorter fuel line, and the bottom portion is the longer fuel line, and it basically goes on here like this, just like that. So we'd have to figure out, you know, we'd have to play around this and make sure like all the wires are not in the way and stuff, but this is essentially the entire connection. Like, that's it. All right, so the next part is this goes all the way around here to this bad boy over here, and then this goes back into the main fuel line right here. Basically this man just gonna be sitting right here. I don't know what we're gonna do with this, so maybe we're gonna take that out completely. I think we might take that out completely, maybe
just yank on this and just get rid of it.
Yeah, but yeah, that's basically it. So we're gonna move forward, and then we'll be back. Okay, so our next project is we're taking out the other fuel line. As you guys can see, Nick is trying to get that out. That's gonna be a lot of fuel. We did kind of relieve the pressure from the top, but we don't know for sure how much is actually going to come out. So there's not a way to shove in a lot of rags on here. We just did our best to, you know, stuff it up at the bottom. That way, like whenever it comes out, you know, we're good to go. You gotta squeeze the blue pins together.
Or separate, I think you gotta separate just to pull it out. I don't know. What the heck is going on here?
If you do one side after the other, I think you should be fine.
Damn, dude.
It looks like it's coming out.
Is it?
Yeah. Yeah, flathead maybe?
Possibly. Where's that,
Or do I need to pull these up? Because you pulled yours up, right?
Yeah, so you kind of have to like separate them from each other even when you like close the pins. Let me do it. So like when you close the pins, you want to like pull the black away from it.
So like pushing it and then pull the hose away?
Yeah, kind of thing. I know it's tight.
Oh,
there we go.
This is how we do it.
Oh, look at that. Nothing. Zero fuel. Alright, so we essentially can now, I think we can take this out, we just gotta unplug it completely.
Yeah, I gotta pull this pin right here.
You just gotta trace the pins for like the previous hose, take them out, and that fuel line, we can take out that fuel line completely and replace it with the new one that we got. So.
Okay guys, so to disconnect that fuel line completely, you just need a prying tool. Focus. There we go. Okay, so that is the longer hose that we're taking out, and you basically just pry it out. If you guys can see this clip at the, where is it? Oh, there we go. If you guys can see this clip at the bottom, you essentially put your prying tool in between and just raise it out.
Yeah,
so
that's
yep, just like that. That's literally what it is. So that's the old fuel line that we took out. It's gonna get replaced with the fuel line that comes with SiriMoto right here, as you guys can see. This is the shorter line that goes into the main fuel line itself right here. It goes back into this right here, and then I think that's it. I think after that we just gotta wrap the wires into the gauge and we're done.
Yep. So shorty to that one, long one to this one.
Yep. And that's it. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna close this up real quick. You know, connect the fuel lines back, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so right now Nick is gonna try to put the fuel lines back together. Should be fairly easy in your hand. There we go.
Click.
That just slaps in there like that.
I'm gonna route this how it was on the old one.
Yep.
If I can
Put it through the bottom.
pause that.
All right, so we're routing that back in there, into the injector right there. So if this is really short, you don't really need a clip to like hold the fuel line in place because it's not very long. So right now,
There we go.
just click that in there.
That's it.
So we got to figure out. So y'all remember how we said this was supposed to go here? Well, that don't look like that's gonna happen. So we might have to figure out another way to put that on. So maybe it goes in here in this clip.
Nope. Huh.
Alright, we're gonna figure that out and let you guys know. Okay guys, so we were right. It actually goes on here. You just unscrew that. It's like super easy. You put that back on and then you screw back on there.
Or you just push it on. This is one of those you can
Or
push.
it just pushes on there.
Yeah. There you go. That's it.
And that's it, you know. We just secured a fuel analyzer right there. You know, we got the fuel lines connected as they're supposed to. So you guys can see. This is actually extremely easy. You know, just make sure you don't lose none of your bolts when you're doing this. That's like the hardest portion. And we can put the harness back on here whenever we're done too. So okay guys, so the last portion of this, like working in here, was trying to get the harness off of the radiator sensor. And I know you guys cannot see it, but that pin right there is a pain in the rear. Y'all see that harness right there? Yeah, that took forever to get out. So according to the instructions from SiriMoto, they said take out the belly pin because it's way easier to access, but we didn't want to do that because we were already committed to not putting the car in jack stands.
So we just put some paper towels, because it's quite hot. So I put some paper towels along the transmission and I just stuck my hand in there and just grabbed it down there. I just pulled it right between the radiator hose here and the intercooler hose here. Just pulled it.
Yeah, so, but that's really it. Now we're gonna try to wire this inside the car via a gourmet
Right here, we're probably gonna pop this up a little bit
right there.
and stick it in. Pop that guy in there if I can.
And we're almost done after that, so.
Alright, so we're probably gonna make our lives a little bit easier by using a metal hanger. I'm gonna pop this through the grommet on the bottom hand, and then it's gonna go inside the cabin in the footwell next to your pedals. I'm gonna pop out through there, and you'll see that in a little bit. And then once it's on that side and he's got control of it, then I'm gonna go ahead and tie or tape on the end of the harness on this side like this, and we're gonna feed the lines through and make our lives just that much easier. And I'll guide it from this side while he slowly pulls the excess on that side. And it should be fun, because then now it's the easy part. We're just gonna route all these wires in. After that, plug it in and it'll work immediately.
Okay guys, so Nick just passed me the harness. You gotta be real careful when you do this, because before I grabbed this, he already kind of over pushed this and he was like inside my plastic over here. You don't want that. You want this to come, you want the harness to come like right down the bottom over here, as you guys can see. Like you want it to just be a straight shutdown, and then that's where you want to pass your wires through. If you guys can see those wires behind over there, that's actually for my ambient lighting and the Type R door seal trim. I routed them behind like each one of the pedals and stuff, so that's why those are like that. Thinking the same idea for this, you know, just kind of wire them across and put it inside to the side over there. So, but yeah, it is here now. Nick just has to connect the wires on and then pass them down. So, ready for one? Alrighty guys, so we did pass the wires through from the garment inside. All the wires are just kind of laying inside right now. That will be like our next cleanup portion. We are trying to clean up the engine bay, so best advice I can give you is don't let this be as tight. You kind of want to give yourself some wiggle room in here so you can like pass the wires through the way it's supposed to, as you guys can kind of see like right here. So like this excess, there was a reason we left this out. It was for like whenever we put in the battery, because we did pass it through the battery right there on the side. That way it has room to like squeeze and all the good stuff. So put the wires in a safe place, away from the hot spots, you know, basic wiring principle, so to speak. And we'll put the intake back. We're just gonna screw this back down, and then we're gonna go inside the car and put the final.
So you guys can see, is it coming on? Yeah. Did it come on?
Now it is.
Alright, as you guys can see, it's on right there. The only other thing is, so like this thing comes with a ring So this comes with, it looks like some type of ring that almost looks like a sensor. This needs to be grounded to a metal, and I'm gonna show you guys what I did right here. So if you guys can see this, according to the instruction, there is a screw to the right hand side of the fuse box. You just unscrew that, put the metal on there, and then screw it back in there, and that's how you ground it. If you don't do that, you're not gonna have power to the gauge itself. And then the second part is basically just locating what fuse you're gonna unplug. It's a 10 amp fuse. The instruction tells you, I think it's the number 6 from the right hand side, second row, number 6 from the right hand side, you count, and that's the one that you got to replace. Other than that, you just got to figure out, you know, how to keep this nice and tidy. You know, this is gonna look, you know, a lot better when I'm done, but figure out how to keep this nice and tidy, and then after that, you know, we're pretty much done, and we're gonna put some corn in this bad boy and we'll be good to go. Guys, okay, we're done. We're gonna go on a little cruise around the building just to get everything all cleared up and stuff. Don't panic. Whenever you get this done, you're gonna see a whole bunch of like check engine, emission systems, and all the stupid stuff. Don't panic. Just, you know, get your car on the plug. About like 10 or 15 minutes, everything should eventually clear away. If it is not clear away by the next day, something wrong. So but yeah, that's what we're about to do right now. So I don't know if you guys can see the dash right now. It's saying, you know, drive carefully, systems are still initializing. Of course, you can see the screen that tells you, like, you know, everything is still starting to get back together. The ethanol content sensor is starting to stabilize because now we're actually driving and it's able to detect, you know, the fuel and all the good stuff. So like I said, the lights are slowly going off. The traction control lights are off. That's going off. We just got one more light to clear out. I'm driving around the building and all the good stuff. So right now the ethanol. Alright, so we got a couple lights. We got the P0560 system voltage, the EC2 high voltage, the master volume circuit low input. All of this areas should clear after we throw in the tune on the car. Okay guys, we are done, like done. The last portion is we're just gonna throw in some E85, try to get like a good mix and see how that works out. The one thing I'm gonna say is when you're done, you may get like a couple of check engine lights. Those would eventually come off when you select like the flex fuel tune, and then you have to go to the miscellaneous option under your calibration, and then just take a note of like the sensors that are like coming off, and then just check up those boxes that are coming off, and that should get rid of all the check engine lights. So like if you guys, if you want to come in the car right now, there is like absolutely no lights going off or anything like that, and the Honda system actually senses the ethanol content now, because that was like 004. So if you do your tuning right, it's super easy. The Honda base map is what I used for mine. Use the revision 2 if you're gonna be running 93 mix with your E85. Use the revision 1 if you're gonna be running a 91 mix with your E85. We got 93 down here, so I chose 93 portion. So I think that's it. You got anything else, Nick?
Nah, I think that's about it. I mean, you covered everything, so we can just test it. We're gonna add some E85 that I have hidden away behind that little creeper back there.
Yep.
And we're gonna see how this changes.